Hi, welcome back to Gotta Be Me podcast. We're so happy and excited to be here with you today. We are your hosts. My name is Sophia Benyon. This is my cousin Peyton Benyon and my sister Camille.
Welcome back to our channel, everybody. If you're new here, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll appreciate it so very much.
We are so excited and honored to have our apostle and friend, Brother Randall Hargrave, on the show today. Brother Randy, I want to get right into it. Earlier this week, last Sunday, exactly 1 week ago, the Super Bowl happened, 2025, and Kendrick Lamar performed halftime, which we have been waiting for ever since they announced it.
Really?
We were excited about it.
Like Kendrick.
Like you all wanted to.
We did.
We can't wait for it to come on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're like, we don't want to miss halftime this year. So you sent out a message on our church chat, and you said that you wanted to say, I'm going to quote you, "I really liked Kendrick Lamar's halftime show. I am proud of him, and I think he did a good job." And when you sent out that message, we were all like, "Oh, Brother Randy liked it too!" And then we felt very validated, and we wanted to talk. We wanted to talk to you and ask you about it. So, I guess my first question is, and it's broad, is what did you like about it? What gave you the reaction of "I liked that show"?
Yeah. So I don't know all the. Maybe I could say, the start. Like, there's probably a lot of people, commenting on it, and which it was something. Like it wasn't nothing. It was he did something. I can't say that I just followed Kendrick, but I just looked at it once, and I thought, well, that's the best one that ever happened.
You only had to see it one time to know.
I think, to me, it was the best ever Super Bowl halftime show in history. I generally don't really like a lot of fanfare and show, you know what I mean? Like when a bunch of dancing around and all that.
You do too much.
And it's just too much stuff. But he did it. Oh, it was so nice. Now maybe that's personal to me, but he had dancing, but it was good. I liked it, and it wasn't too. Yeah, it was real straight and streamlined. I think that it was, and then he had Samuel Jackson on there and all of those, and I thought, now he's really trying to say something. Like this is
He's not really just trying to entertain.
Right. So I didn't think he was trying to entertain. I'm not saying at all, but that wasn't his primary. I'm not trying to entertain you. I'm trying to tell you something.
And some people
layered, right?
Yeah.
Some people were really discouraged about that. They thought it was super not entertaining enough. They were like, "That was terrible." you know?
I think they want, that Super Bowl after halftime show. People want to be entertained, and they're used to, people doing whatever, and they're, they want something upbeat that everybody can move to, and all of that. But Kendrick made them think.
Yep.
And I think that was uncomfortable. I heard some different people, like Megyn Kelly, who's I don't know what she's considered, maybe a journalist or something, but she does her work on online. Obviously, she has a podcast, and she was talking to some people, and she was saying how she didn't understand it, and she didn't, which I respect Megyn Kelly. I appreciate a lot of her views, and so she was saying how she didn't understand it, and I thought how interesting. I said, no, I think she does. And that's what makes her uncomfortable.
And maybe she doesn't want to.
You don't want to say you understand it. And to me, that's powerful.
Yes.
There's a lot of implications if you do understand.
Yes.
It makes you responsible.
Yeah. Even they had Ben Shapiro, who I don't just listen to, but like he'll comment on things like this, social events and all that. And I didn't understand and all. And then the other man who does. What is it he does?
Matt Walsh?
Matt Walsh.
Yeah, he was really
he made a podcast, Am I a Racist? Right? Well, Kendrick Lamar just upturned that whole thing.
Right.
The whole thing, what he did was made illegitimate.
In 15 minutes.
Like all of a sudden, because it's not because Matt Walsh is not smart, but and all that. But Matt Walsh, people, when they come and they deal with the issue when they deal with they call it black issue. I don't know what they want to call it. Black issue, the African American issue, the issue of blacks in this country, their story, their narrative. Blacks are not included in their own story. They never get to have commentary on their own existence.
Everybody else gets
Everybody else talks about
And that's
it.
intentional, right?
Yeah, everybody else talks about it. But see, when you get blacks together, I think there's a fear. I think there's just an open fear. What will these people come up with together?
Do you think that's why people? Do you think that's why people were so upset that it was only black performers? Because I noticed a lot of people saying, I don't hear anybody complaining about the lack of diversity here, like very like offended.
Saying it was hypocritical to have an all black.
Yeah, yeah. And I thought it was beautiful. I thought, yeah, I like you. I like you right now. I like you right now because he just got up and said, look, we just going to do us and then whatever you think. I'm going to give you a picture. I was trying to listen to it again. Actually, I would say it's good enough to listen to over and over and over.
You'll get something new.
And you'll get something new every time. Now that's something to me that's different than even, just for like a Beyonce performance, and I'm not saying you don't get. I'm not dogging Beyonce. I'm not doing that. But I'm saying it was different. I think Kendrick's a prophet.
He said that in one of his songs. He said, "I'm a
in
prophet."
his lyrics.
He said they see it, I get it.
Yeah. Oh, he did.
He did.
I don't know if I never heard that. So you got to put me on to that. I got to look that one up. So you could help me have that one. But yeah, I think he's a prophet and he showed it. He said, look, I'm going to show you what's happening. And like, to me, I just it was going through my skin. Like if I wasn't looking, I was going to get it. Like if my eyes was blind, I was going to get it.
Heard it.
And
I said that wrong. He said, they talk about it. I get it. He said it wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So yeah, I think I just think he went in, I think really at a critical time.
Yeah.
With
That's the
the
other
election
thing.
and
It was
everything.
a pivotal moment.
What did he say at the beginning? It's
He's-
the right moment, but they picked the wrong guy. Is that what he said?
He said the revolution will be televised. They picked the right moment with the
Right
wrong.
time, wrong guy.
Right time,
Yes.
wrong guy.
Do you think he was referring to Mr. Trump?
That's what a lot of people are
People are
saying.
saying he was referring to Mr. Trump, and then other people saying he was referring to himself. Like, oh, you got the wrong person on the stage right now.
You know, I'll say that's the way I took it.
That's the way I took it
at
too.
first, but then a lot of people were saying, no, he's talking about
Because Mr. Trump was there, you know.
and they're like, he looked right at him. I'm telling you, but like,
Who knows what happened?
So you know what I think would be interesting is that if Kendrick would just answer those little questions.
Yes.
What did you mean? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that he will, but you know what I mean. I think he's gone and like whatever. It's done now.
people are gonna take it how they're gonna
Yeah,
take it.
I did what I did. But I think even the audience wouldn't know about this, but even the conversation we were having in Miami about the generations and and all the, and to me I feel now I don't feel Kendrick is the Messiah at all.
Right.
But I do believe that God's placed prophets in the earth and that there is a generation of prophets who speak to prophets.
It seems
Who
like it.
understand prophets,
The millennials
whether they're Christians or not. And now someone would ask, you don't believe in mainstream Christian? I believe in mainline principled Christian doctrine, and I hold to that. But there is a generation of prophets, and we've at least had some of them, and I think Kendrick's one of them.
He fits right into that age group too.
And he prophesied.
He did.
He
took history.
He took a journey and he showed so many different things.
and fast.
He did, yes,
He didn't
13
need
minutes.
Much, he didn't need much
him
time.
long.
That's
It didn't take him
like Moses. You know, Moses did that. He did. He covered. You know, what would it have been? How many years of? Oh, probably almost 4,000 years of history.
In
Just in. What would that been in his writings?
you talking about the first five books?
The first 5 books. What, Genesis? I don't know exactly. Somebody can get me on that. But I'm saying like. Well, at least up to the flood, you got 1,600 years of history, and then
And that
after
took him
that,
like 10 chapters. Or
yeah, and it's just he did it real quick. I think where's the flood? Chapter 7,
7 or 8.
7 or 8, yeah, 8 chapters. He had you 1,600 years later, and I mean just real quick and everything, boom, right there. And so, I think Yeah, I think Kendrick's like that. I think in that, yeah, I was just pleased. I was
How he
pleased.
handled it.
I was really, really, really pleased. I thought it was good. I was glad
You said
everybody.
you were proud of him.
I was proud of him. I'm proud. I'm proud of him right now. I think so. I might mess this up. So you all just. I might. I sometimes I just say things, and it would take maybe some ongoing dialogue to. Sometimes I think what I say causes questions. Causes more questions than
That's a good thing, though.
than anything else. But
think.
like sometimes in my mind I mix things all together. Like I mix humans together and human things, and so yeah. So when I think specifically Black America needed that
Yes.
Right now.
needed that we need to be
You picked the right time.
centered. You know what I mean? Recentered and established.
How do you think that's going to help to realign or recenter
Well,
Black America?
I think it sparks. First of all, I think it sparks the conversation again. Where are we?
Mm-hmm.
Where are we actually?
Opens it up.
It opens it up. Where are we? And then
journey.
also, what do we do about where we are now?
Mm-hmm. Where are we, and how do we move from here?
How do we do something? And so, I do think that one of the Chuck D used to have. He said, "Fear of a Black Planet."
Right.
There was a
Brother Steph had us listen to that song one
that's
time.
good stuff. That's good stuff. We was raised on that. There's a fear of a Black planet, but there seems to be an underlying fear of especially empowered Black men who know who they are. I don't know why that seems. Well, I kind of do know why that seems to be a danger, or it seems to be a threat to the establishment. I don't think anything is a threat to the establishment as much as Blacks, and specifically African Americans.
Why?
Why? To see Blacks working together and having a cohesive narrative, and to see the gifts among the people working together has always been a threat.
Well, that's what Dr. Umar said. Not
Cornell
Dr. Umar,
West.
Dr. Cornell West. The fundamental
Threat to the status quo is when you fall in love with Black people.
Yeah, because I think that unity, that the key to the unity of the people lies in those people, in us.
That's interesting.
The key to the unity of all people lies in us. And so that's, I think, I listened to Ken, he mentioned that. He was saying it's our time. When he was on the car and he was saying something about it was our time. I didn't get it all, but he was talking about, no, this goes through us. It's our time. And he might have, I don't know if he meant, I think he meant more, but
I wonder where he got that understanding.
Well, if he listened to Luther Vandross, that's where he got it.
That's where he got some good understanding.
When they threw up that song, "This World Were Mine," that all came. It came all at once. Yeah. So he probably, I remember him. And it's act like I'm a scholar on Kendrick Lamar. I'm not. I've just heard I heard where Tupac Shakur and some of them, when they were big. And they were in Compton. His father found out, and then actually went to get Kendrick and brought him over.
He got to meet
so that he could be near,
Those
Tupac.
greats.
And then, and then, I don't know if this is, this is just what I've heard, that Kendrick had a dream or something that he was commissioned to keep. Tupac talked to him and said, "Keep this alive."
It's interesting.
And it that's a when you're making that kind of connection, you're making a different. That's not just, people got a lot of ideas about rap, but you're talking about revolution.
Yes.
You're talking about keeping revolution alive. That's not just somebody rhyming. He's saying keep this going, keep this. Tupac was very he was.
Wasn't his mother a Black Panther?
Yeah, so she was one of, and a lot of people a lot of people claim, well, my parent was a Black Panther, this one's a Black Panther. She was a part of the Panther 21. Okay. She was a part of one of the biggest trials that ever happened in New York City.
Okay.
The most money given to it and all that. So when Tupac was born in revolution. He was born in
the whirlwind. That's the word you use.
There's actually a book about it. So he was born in the stirring of that. And so I don't know. I think it was a couple days or something. There was a couple days. If his mother would have been in jail a couple more days, he'd have been born in jail.
He was literally born.
Literally born in jail. And so he was. His life is fomented, like all of that. He was spinning in that his whole life. You know what I'm saying? So when he spoke, when he rapped, the echoes of that came out. That's what was coming. That's what you were getting when he would rap, "Keep Your Head Up," or Brenda's Got a Baby, or you would hear it wasn't just somebody with a good thought. It was somebody that understood about community,
it was
connectedness, humanity. He was a prophet. Humanity. It was in him to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so you got and this is not. I don't even this is not attack rappers and it's not about that. It's just with some people there are certain things that they are connected to that they then can project an image of. They have the power to be an image for that. Just like you have different for example, you have I shouldn't look. You have a sorry, y'all got the wrong person. Y'all shouldn't have got me. I'm telling you. So, like you have like Jay-Z, who I think is a very intelligent man. Okay, but he could never make you understand from his image,
right?
Civil rights,
From what he projects,
men's. He could never make you understand the unity of mankind. He can make you understand business. Okay, like he's
his
a great
person just holds a different aspect.
Yeah, it just holds something else.
Right.
And where when Tupac would go, you thought we need to go. It's time to.
It moved you.
Get your
Right.
guns. Get your guns. Let's go. Let's do something. Let's stand together. And he and what's not. It's not strange, but what is something to be noticed in all that is that he could it just came out, and the songs he wrote, Tupac, he wrote those for black people. There were keep your head up.
Right.
He wrote that to black women.
Yeah, specifically.
Now other women, he's like, hey, everybody, we're all the same and all that, but I'm gonna represent it from here.
So that's where it came from.
Yeah, and so when he did that, it actually did. There was I forget how many. Like he sold records in prison. Like things happened to him, like that destroy a career. And he kept on. He was growing while it was.
It's so interesting to me how they can stand, like they don't get off of the foundation where they came from. Like Kendrick's from Compton, right? And he never gets off of that. He's always proud of where he came from, his people, who he represents, but yet he reaches such a huge audience. Like people that are not from Compton at all, not even the same vicinity, they're...
Everybody loved Not Like Us. Not Like Us was Song of the Year.
Yeah. Why?
I mean, you won
Mr.
5
Lamar
Grammys.
has 5 Grammys.
From the week before.
Yeah.
And it's funny to me because he won 5 Grammys. Not Like Us was the song of these people that are hating and saying nobody knows that song. I'm not sure where they were, but everybody knows that song, for one. And for two, Kendrick Lamar predicted that that's how people would respond by using Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam to say, you're too loud, you're too... That's not what America wants. And people
were like, that's not what we wanted. And I was like, that's crazy that he prophesied. He had it all in there.
He prophesied.
Yeah.
Now that's powerful to know, like to say, I got this, and this is what they're going to do with it.
And he had that whole interaction with Uncle Sam right there. And he basically took, like, all those people that are saying that are going right into the narrative of Uncle Sam and in the industry that is trying to contain people. And like, they're falling right in line with the spirit that he had on the stage, which is like, it was crazy.
Yeah. That's, I think it's good. Again, people might leave here and say, well, he's promoting Kendrick Lamar. Nah, I'm promoting his gift. Like, I'm saying he has an active gift. I would say that Donald Trump has an active gift. I would say that other people have, they're actively gifted at something.
Yes.
And he really, there was something else I wanted to say about it. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you because it seems like to me that the reactions on the internet are very dramatic.
Okay.
Either people hate it or people love it.
That means it was good.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. What is that? What do you think that projects? Like, what does that mean?
I think it just forces you. It forces it. Anytime. To me, he was saying, get on a side. Like, he was saying a lot of things, but that's one of the things he was saying.
Yeah.
Pick a side.
Polarization.
Pick a side. Go one way or the other. Whichever one you want. But go one way or go this way. They're not, not like us. You ain't like us. Like, and people are forced to. What does that mean? What is he saying?
Are you us or are you not the us?
Yeah. Are you saying that I'm not black? Are you saying that? What are you saying? He's just saying, not like us. And I know there was a lot of the artist Drake who I looked up, and I can't say that I've just listened to a lot of Drake's music, but I did look him up. He's a very talented, very gifted, and really has, he has a following. I know one of the things that first of all, let me say this: the media machine is going to try to keep that thing going because money's in it.
Yes,
okay?
Absolutely.
They're going to try to keep Drake and Kendrick doing
that
this.
beef alive.
Yeah, and so that's part of the story. So now they gotta, it seems like Kendrick has let the air out of Drake's bag. They want to put it back in
To Drake's bag.
Yeah, to put it back in, and then they'll start to keep it going. And you got all these sides, and you got people that it's interesting. People that are fans of one or the other, and like not speaking to each other. I'm like, Lord, it's a song, y'all.
Drake's gifting is not in that. I don't think though. Like he has a great gifting, but it's not in rap battling.
It's not like it's not in prophecy.
Well, yeah, and
he's
who
not
who
prophetic.
should battle Kendrick?
Nobody.
Just not Drake. Like, and probably no one else either.
It would take Tupac. You know what I'm saying?
Kendrick, Tupac like put it into him. You're saying that.
I'm saying it would take that kind of, because you have, like, I think it's interesting what you said. They actually are doing two different things.
Right. They're not in the same.
Yeah, they're not even moving in the same energy.
Yes.
Okay, like you have.
It's actually
I think Drake is a pop artist.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a pop star.
He's a pop singer.
He's huge.
Yeah. And so he's probably a billionaire. We were in Toronto, and one of the brothers, Brother Hurt was driving me around. He said, "Hey, you want to see Drake?" I said, "Sure, let's go." We went by there. I looked at that thing. I was like, "Lord, what is he making?"
I can't imagine.
You know what I mean? Like there was guards there, and it looked like the wall of Babylon, and you know what I'm saying? And then the whole, and I was like, bro, what's he turning? Like, you know what I'm saying? And they said, and then when he told me, he said, "This is one of them." I said, "One? This is one." I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know. Like, I didn't. Someone said, "Well, you should know. Well, maybe. But, Kendrick is not even, I think Drake tried to get into a space that he already lost in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like before that started, Drake lost. Like it was predestined. It was a predestined loss.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't his space to be in.
Right. Kendrick actually doesn't even, as much as I can tell, okay? And I'm looking on too. I'm at a distance too, so have mercy. Okay. So I'm just saying, from the patterns of the world, the patterns of people, what happens in the world, how people move. Okay, Kendrick don't move like Drake. Okay,
It's like prophet versus pop star. You're not gonna, pop star's not gonna win the prophet.
Yeah, they're not going to.
Not in the prophetic space, and
yeah, in a different space, like it's different. If Kendrick is not going to enter the space that Drake holds. He knows better than that. I think.
Yeah.
Well, no. I'll just say what I think. I understand why you say that, but I think Kendrick holds it all.
Like
his gift is bigger.
It's within that.
I think Drake's within him.
Yeah.
Not
Kendrick's gifting is bigger.
Yeah, like because the prophet's going to hold it. The prophet's going to be the one that's got his tentacles everywhere. He's telling you why you're doing what you're doing, and that's what's so frustrating. You know what I mean? Oh, you did. Yeah, I understand. You doing. You know what I mean? What was I saying? Oh, I was saying that I think people look at it. For example, well, he really got Drake. When I listened to it, I was like, no, that wasn't about Drake.
Not really.
Not
right?
really.
Not really.
Not really. Drake was a side issue. Mm-hmm. Now, in other words, I was like, in my mind, he was going, now I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to get Drake while I'm doing it. but I'm working on something else.
He wasn't the point.
Yeah, while I'm walking through this, I'm going to hit him. I'm going to hit him again. And I'm going to hit him again. And then I'm going to bring him up here and just hit him. and then I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. But I just think they're doing very different things. I looked at, I know that, what's his name? Okay, I know that Drake actually is responsible for, giving people opportunities, giving them platforms and all that. He's got a lot of, which I think that's great. You're supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I think it's beautiful, and I think it shows beauty from him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, but because you shared a platform doesn't mean you're the boss of everybody that you platformed.
That you shared your platform
yeah.
with.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So in a very real way, Kendrick put Drake on.
Yeah.
More than Drake put him on. Okay. And when I say that, it sounds like I'm just a big rap. I'm not, okay? Yeah. But I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the movings of it. Mm-hmm. and the workings of it. Really, Drake is making money out of the space that Kendrick lives in. And I think that's the burden. That's the burden of them. That's actually the burden of the music. That's actually Kendrick's burden.
That's what he says on Not Like Us.
Yeah,
basically, like
you are making money. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing as when they give, oftentimes in black neighborhoods they'll give stores, convenience stores, they'll give all this stuff. They give it to foreigners, people that come in. They'll come in from different places, Arabs and different, and no hate. Hurting on the Arabs, but they'll give it to them. Mm-hmm. And the blacks, and then they'll go into the black neighborhoods and get all the money and take the money out the neighborhood, and the neighborhood's dead.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so I think that we definitely live in a world where black consciousness, black giftings and talents are mined and used other places, and the community gets nothing.
Have we not always lived in that world? Like or at least ever since African Americans were brought to the USA, like that's basically what's been done to African Americans from the times of slavery till now.
Yeah, for sure.
Kendrick referred to it too. He speaks in the song, one of his lines, he talks about 40 acres and a mule. Mm-hmm. And also with the PlayStation, like if you notice the shape, it's actually a video game. Uh-huh. And so he's like referring to the fact that like you're not in control of what's going on. You're just kind of players in a game, and someone else is controlling the narrative and those sorts of things.
After he said 40 acres and a mule, he said it's bigger than the music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, I did. I heard that. Mm-hmm. He was. Well, there was one. He did say that. Did he say that before he started Not Like Us?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
He said, I'm gonna get it. I listened over because I was like, he said, okay. He said, I'm gonna get it in the flow.
Okay.
How did he say that? I wish I knew exactly. Right before he got with the young ladies again, and he started talking, they didn't want me to do it or whatever. And then he said something, I'm gonna get it in its flow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Something like that. And so, I think, he's talking about something bigger. He's talking about something that happens in industry. He's talking, and really, I think blacks feel that. To me, that's a part of being black. Like, I feel like, oh, you just took that. Mm-hmm. Like you just walked away with that. Mm-hmm. You just gonna do, that's what you're gonna do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And there's and I think, so when I say like, really, like I think people want rap, but they don't want that conscious.
They don't want to understand. We cannot understand it.
They don't understand. I don't understand. And you got all these, young, black youth, earlier on in, maybe during, back when I was a youth, coming up through and rapping
and hip hop was a lot more conscious in your youth.
Oh, big time. Self-destruction. And we were hearing things that were making us, were turning us to good. Like that would turn us to constructive things. Is what, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It wasn't. It seems like, and I don't know. I don't want to characterize it wrong, but at all. But it seems like hip hop now is very, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get your woman. I'm coming to get your, and then I'm gonna shoot you in the face. And the nastier you are, the more you get.
The more you sell.
Yeah. The more
It seems like
it's so hard to find it. You have to dig if you want to find something.
conscious.
Yeah, something.
It's there, but it's hidden.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. It's not very so.
It's not what's popular anymore.
Yeah, right. But that's not what they were doing like before. Like you and I'm not. It sounds like I'm saying these people are all saved. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they were moving. Nas. He was. They were talking about things that were happening to them. And not all of it, and they weren't all good. I wasn't saying that, not that. You can somebody right now doing that, saying, "No, Nas is but if I ruled the world, if I, even songs he talk about. What's that one song he has about? You got yourself a gun or something. Yeah. Anyway, he's just telling a story. He's telling a story. Now look, this is what happened. This is what we can't do. You know what I mean? Let's and now it's like there's a great lack of that. And it seemed like the consciousness of Black people was more constructive, at least when I was younger. There was more influences that were trying to build us up as opposed to tearing us all apart. And
that was one of the things that I thought was beautiful about Kendrick Lamar's show. Like, it was not focused on a bunch of nudity or over sexualization. Like, it was nice dancing. It was like a highlighting of the beauties of Black culture without like some of the more negative aspects that it seems like modern hip hop makes an effort to highlight.
That's one of the things I'm glad you brought that up, because that's one of the things I was very impressed. I said, wasn't nobody twerking. There wasn't nobody nude. There wasn't, everybody was covered and they was just doing what they did. I was like, nice.
It was.
That is super nice. It was, to me, it was the best.
Now that Kendrick has made such a statement and he has this platform, what do you think would be his best productive step?
First of all, I think the media is doing something with it.
They're going to.
Like, you got to have a way to subvert the media. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now the media will swing all this over to Drake and now say, now Drake, your turn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're I don't know. I don't think he does too many interviews.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
I looked it up. I try to find them
Which
all.
I understand. Like, I'm like, yeah.
Feel
Get
you
that.
there.
Just gonna let it be in the atmosphere. Huh?
But also we live in a time where things die down pretty quick too.
So
People are always on to the next
Like,
thing.
things are moving fast. I grew up in a time when you'd have a movie would be on for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, you could go for, now that movie, if you don't, you go to the theater, either you catch it there the first week or two. After that, it's on streams.
There's
I'm like,
something else.
what in the world? What's the movie theater for? But, so one of the things I think that he has going for him in this is that this is an old conversation. This is an
bringing it back up.
Unresolved conversation that he just brought right back up to the surface. And he's saying, remember this?
Don't forget this.
Don't forget this. Because people are wanting to walk past, they're constantly wanting to walk past the Negro problem. You know what I mean? It's a problem. What do you do with them people? What do you say? It's not necessarily what you do about them. It's more importantly, what do you say about them? How did these people get here? How is their condition like this? How has the country treated them? I really think that the the welfare of the country depends on this issue, what Kendrick brought up.
Yeah.
I think the whole country,
Absolutely.
if it's going to continue, if it's going to continue to be America or the United States, if it's going to continue to be the American experiment, I think you have to face the Negro problem.
You have to.
Because it affects the whole story, right? It's the whole. So yeah, it's founded. You say, well, you know, a lot of African Americans say, well, a lot of us will say, well, we built this country. Well, they got the Chinese built the railroads. You know, there's been a lot of, but I don't think that's what blacks are saying. I don't think that's what we're saying. Well, I would say blacks are saying. That's not what we are saying. We're okay. Actually, Candace Owens brought some of this up before. So she talked about how that, you know, this is during the Mr. Biden's administration, President Biden, that they were bringing in different people from, you know, all over, and, you know, they were letting them over the borders. You know what I mean? They were saying, well, we're a country of inclusion. We're a country of, you know, and they get everybody going on that. Okay. Even us. Okay. We're a country of this, and we're we're accepting, bring them over, you know, giving you know, phones, visas, and places to live, filling up big motels and spaces with immigrants, and we've got people from here on the street.
Lots of people.
Right? Okay. And I think, well, how do you explain this? Right. Well, we're given opportunities. I said, wait a minute. No, that ain't what America's been.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And someone said, well, you're divisional. No, I'm not divisional. But you're going to create a whole new country if you really don't have the right narrative concerning slavery, the slave himself, Civil War, if you don't have the right, you understand what I'm saying? They want to paint it. They want to paint it like, you know, the slaves were brought over. They had a great opportunity, but no, we didn't. I mean, let me stop. I love America. I'm glad I'm here. Right, I'm not saying that, but I wasn't. It was by God's grace we have the opportunity.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. It wasn't by man's design.
Yes.
They did not bring us over here to give us opportunities.
Yeah, let's get a better education for everybody. I tell you what, let's just do it. You know,
let's just do it.
Don't we love them? Don't we love them, John? Bring them on over. You know what I'm saying?
That was not the story.
That's not the story. Now, here's the problem. The spirit of that has not changed.
Yeah.
Okay. Even today, even with Mr. Trump, who I would say is the best president. I don't think there has been a better president.
Really?
Yeah, I think and I think there's a few things if he could do that, it would definitely cement it. Like, it would cement him as being.
Do you think he's racist at all?
I don't know. He might be. I don't know.
But it doesn't really matter to you?
Well, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying, but at the end of the day, if we just deal with
it, matters what he gets done.
Let's deal with the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's.
Think he can?
Huh?
Think he can?
Well, I think he'll have to solicit some help. I think if he tries to reach in and mess with the Kendrick Lamars, I think his hand will fall off.
Yes. I think you're right.
He's a powerful man and all that, and I think
wither up.
he might will try to go past that, but this thing that what Kendrick brought up has killed a many soul.
The best thing he can do is support.
The best thing he could do would be like, okay, what are we supposed to be doing here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We need some prophetic help, and if we can get some, and I don't think that comes from people like, you know, Al Sharpton and to me those are establishment people. They become establishment. Yeah. So. But I think that the narrative about, you know, concerning slavery, if it can be cleared, then the spirit of the country then demons can be exorcised.
From America.
From America, the American demons. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Can be exorcised, and then things can be viewed really as they are. Yeah, and I really think that all of that revolves around the narrative of the African American. What happened to those people? Everybody was free, but them. Why? You know what I mean? Well, they weren't. You know, how is it possible that we had to get legislation to know whether somebody was a man or not? That's dark.
That's wild.
That's crazy. Somebody walk into and like, now let's all get together and let's figure out if that's a man. No, it's what men do. It's what crazy. Carnal men do. They look in and they be like, well, let me figure out if you're all right. No, look, if our senses don't tell us, if we got to go to paper.
Then we're out of our minds.
Then we're out of our minds, and also we are also disconnected from humanity itself.
So badly.
From truth, right?
And if I can't find another human just by having a human spirit, I need paper.
That is very beastly.
Yeah, that's and so there's what else is actually being ignored.
At that point,
that's
being
dark.
Allowed to ignore.
Yeah, there's something that's extremely dark that needs to be broken up. You know what I'm saying? And so it's actually it's more than even getting, you know, reparations and all of that. I'm not even talking about that. Reparations would be the right story.
Okay.
That'd be, and it also, this is I'm jumping around. So this is also what leaves the Black community with no defense, and people just dig in it.
What leaves it with no defense?
Well, just the lack of a narrative. Who are we?
Yes.
Well, there's no one to hold it.
And there's nobody to hold it and say, we're this. We're
this is the story.
We're this.
And
you
this is
can't.
ours.
Yeah, we're this, and this is ours. And if you reach in there, like, there's no community. People have, you know, they put stamps on stuff. You know what I mean? That's ours. You reach in there, like, oh, this was made by, you know, this
and
is
you have to pay for it.
Asian made, and you have to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? And so Blacks are constantly creating and constantly consuming, but never benefiting from either. Not as a whole.
Not in a holistic
not
way,
as a
right?
group,
Like
not as a
one
community.
person will make it out, and then it'll be like an example, but not in a real holistic way.
Yeah, because our identity has been robbed, and this is what a lot of the what I would call Black intellectuals and those that have studied these things, they said, no, our people need a story. They need a story, or they're going to be destroyed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think people that could look prophetically, look down the way, they said, look, our men, they're going to all end up in prison. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have, where do we go? Well, come to America. How? And again, this is about Kendrick Lamar. That's what Kendrick was doing.
That's what he was saying.
How do I come to America? And then what benefit do we get from coming?
Right.
I go all over. It's interesting. I travel all over the world, and I see African American influence all over the planet.
Tell the story about the Philippines, Brother Randy.
Which one?
When you were back in it was almost a.
I forget who it was I heard, but we were back in a jungle. Okay, and there was a radio.
I'm fairly certain it was Jay-Z.
Maybe it was Jay. Yeah, it might have been Jay-Z. There was a radio back there, and they were, I don't know what they were doing, some kind of farming or something. And sure enough,
On the farm.
sure enough, Jay, he was playing. I was like, oh,
It's worldwide. It is worldwide.
Like everywhere in Africa, murals of Tupac. I've seen them.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Ice Cube. There are murals like they have even to, you know. So I think the Black community itself has been really seeking for fathering, somebody to tell our story, somebody to make it so that we can, something that we can rally around. What do we rally around? Actually, I think that there is a fear, I think, in government. There is a fear in government of that rallying. I think Blacks have more of a connectedness than what we are allowed to see.
It's not portrayed.
It's fought.
Yeah.
It's fought. The connectedness, the desire to be recognized, the desire, like that's actually, it's been there are even documents that even show that there is a that there's a fear. Hey, these people get together and they start, this is not good.
They fear fathers. I just read something about Malcolm X the other day. There had been a riot outside. This was shortly after he joined the Nation of Islam, actually, at the time. There had been a riot outside of a prison and was getting bigger. I think it got over 1,000 people. And they were demanding, let these men out because they hadn't done anything. And then Malcolm X decides it's time for everybody to go home. And he just gives a hand gesture and everybody leaves. And the FBI said, oh no. No one man should have that kind of power. They're scared of fathers around which the people can rally.
Yeah, if there's somebody who can, and I'm not saying that I think I'd be stupid to think that there'd be one person that would speak for all blacks. Okay, just like there's one person that speaks for all humans.
All right, that's tough.
Okay, yeah, I mean, there's an interconnectedness of how we're connected to each other. But then I think there are those that are needed to basically hang on to the narrative that can say who we are. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody that can tell the
Somebody
story.
that can just say, we're this, not that, we're this. Maybe you're that, not that. You know what I mean? And when you can have that, then you can have a sense of pride. You have a sense of family. A lot of black families are in trauma. And a lot of them are in trauma because there's no story. Like, why are we here? How did we get here? I'm here to play football, or I'm here to, make music, or I'm here. You're not here for that. That's not.
Right.
That's not. Actually, you're a key component of the unity of this country. You're actually the linchpin of unity of this country, maybe of everybody in the world. Stevie Wonder thought that in a song, at least. The song. You ever heard the song "Misrepresented People"?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So anyways, it's very nice. He gives the history gives our history in a song, and then at the end, let me see if I can get it. He said, though we march across time and see many victories, and then he keeps going, we have been the misrepresented people. And he said, though we march across time and see, no, he said, though we march across time and free every single one of God's humanity to never be a misrepresented people. Whoa. And Stevie's good too. Anyway, he makes it sound good too. But that specific verse, we march across time and free every single one of God's humanity. And I do think that that's one of even the specific gifts of African American people to the whole world.
To be able to free other people.
Everybody.
That's beautiful.
Like there's something about if African Americans, blacks are freed, everybody's free. And
that's interesting but we have to have an identity to be able to do that, and we have to understand who we are as a group of people in order to even take on that sort of a job that we may be the only ones that hold the key to.
But then when we do understand where we are, who we are, that will mean we have an understanding of oppression, how it works, because our story of it, the African Americans people, our story of it is so refined. If we can understand our story.
It actually needs. See, the African American oppression is not okay. It's not the intensity of the oppresation. Most people, when you talk about oppression, they think intensity. Well, they did this. They're competing. Who was the most harmed? In oppression. But that's not the key to. If I could talk to us, if I could say something to us, that's not the key. That's not what makes it important for us in the big scheme. Because what makes us so important is that we were set in a situation where, men were getting free. Like, I'll say this. Okay, you do what you want with this. All right. So, I do think there's something special about the United States. There is no country like the United States. Okay, I'm talking about where people have liberties, where they have freedoms, where it is, and I've been all over the world. It doesn't mean that, I'm just saying people don't have the kind of freedom that is here. Okay, I think God works throughout all humanity.
Yes.
I think he's working with everybody. Okay, he's working with people who don't necessarily consciously want to work with him. He's doing it anyway. And to me, the United States was formed. Okay, I'm not saying, people would chime in right after this and say, no, you don't know your history and all that. I'm not talking about all the different, whether someone was a deist or I'm not talking about that. I'm saying the overriding control, omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence of God was active in the formation of this.
It had to be.
Okay.
It had to be.
All right. And the burden, God's burden, is the Spirit of God moving on the face of the waters, is I want to free these people.
Yeah.
I want to free everybody. You know what I'm saying? And
He's near to the oppressed.
Yes, and so it's only men that challenge that you see what I'm saying?
Carnal men.
Carnal men move against,
get in the way of that.
Move against the moving of the Spirit of God on the face of the waters. Okay, so you have it's the same thing. Nebuchadnezzar was we have the scriptures in Daniel where it talks about spirit moving and all these beasts coming up out of the sea. And then if you read, I forget where it is, maybe it's Daniel chapter 2. Nebuchadnezzar gets stirred up, and it said, and Nebuchadnezzar stood up, and the people with him. You know what I mean? He stood up because of what Daniel had. What was so. God has always been trying to free people.
Yeah.
Always, and never has there been an opportunity, I don't think, like this in the whole world, that people would be free. Have really the freedom and liberty.
We've reached the pinnacle of...
you come to the pinnacle of this space, an opportunity where you get free. And then there's these people that are there that didn't get it. Actually, and I'll say this, if some people don't get it, nobody does. Isn't that nice?
People have to get it right.
Yeah, but I'm saying, even the people that are looking for freedom, if my brother's not freed, you ain't free either.
Then you're not going to get the freedom.
You don't get it either.
Right.
Okay. But I'm saying, never has there been an opportunity in mankind that people could be. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say that the former slave was that element. It actually is the former slave was the that part that quote unquote didn't get freed. That's why I think blacks intuitively know it. Blacks that looked at Kendrick Lamar's thing, they intuitively know there's something about us that's different than everybody.
Yes.
There's something about us that we know that's different from the whole world.
It's
And so
articulating it.
when how does Stevie write? Yes, we march across time and free every single one of God's humanity. How'd he know that?
We march across free.
Not just when we march across space, we march across time.
Time and free. In other words, our freedom will free the understanding of what freedom has been all along the way.
That's good.
It'll
That's a lot.
because the people that were enslaved in this American experiment were the closest to that freedom. That's why it's so diabolical. That's why it's so
because America
refined.
was such a free country.
Yeah.
And in America
was
this system of slavery.
Yeah. And it still exists. It's still, someone says, it's not there, it's not there. Yes, it is. It is there. It's happening just the same. You can have a bunch of people walking around and they all seem to be free. Some of them, they're bound in their minds. Never has it been.
Yes.
It's never.
So refined.
So refined. It's so refined you almost sometimes can't tell people they're bound.
Right.
That's right.
People be offended right now.
Yeah. They'll defend their captor.
Their slavery. Their slave master.
So I think to me that's what Kendrick, that to me that's that brings all that back up.
And it's good. In case we forget, in case we would try to put it back on a shelf, try to forget about it, try to move on to a different discussion. Mr. Kendrick Lamar stood up and said, "No, you're not going to forget about this.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about it."
What did he say when he's on that card? This is going through us. Like, it's our time. This is happening through us.
The revolution will be televised.
Yeah, and then, but when he's rapping, I forget, I wish I knew exactly what he's saying. The energy only circulates through us. No more handshakes and hugs. Energy only, that's what he said. This time God's only favoring us. These still got their pen dedicated to a bare hard truth. Energy speak with a vision and tongue. Predicate this time is I'm carrying heavy hearts right now. Like a power and live with Olympians too. Carrying various darts right now. I deserve this like tiramisu. We go party for party. I hit you a party. I'm trying to get better. That's it caught me listening like I'm reading some scriptures or something. I'm like, now what he said, that's real good. That's interestingly too, and Tupac said, I know, he said, my music will live forever. Like he knew, he said, my
that's
music.
How prophecy works.
He said, my music will never die. What I am will never die. And then he said, I might not be the one that starts this. And he didn't call it a revolution. He called it something else, but he meant revolution. I might not be the one that starts this. He said, but I guarantee you, I'll be the one that sparks the brain that does this.
That does start it.
Tupac said that?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And he looked that up. Like it's like he might have said those words. I'll be the one that sparks the brain.
That's interesting.
So he knew. It's interesting how he knew. Like when he was. Those and I think we have prophets like that now. And obviously, I think Kendrick's one of those now. He'll probably get up and make a bad song. Next week. but I think we can still
doesn't negate his gifting.
That doesn't negate his gifting.
And what he did.
And what he sent to do.
What he put in the
and what he put into the atmosphere.
The message he just preached.
And I don't maybe I could just say too, I don't think necessarily that he's not the one to just handle it all by himself. I'm not suggesting that. I think the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets.
Yes.
That there is a guild of prophets that that we can all get together and then see what God is doing. The burden of it all is that humanity is freed. And also that humanity is unified. That and what people have battled is that doesn't include unity amongst African Americans, but it does.
It does. It has to.
You gotta have unity. You can't have. How do you have unity? You don't have unity with your family. How you gonna do anything else?
Right.
People act like it's so scary and so uninclusive when African American people get together.
Yeah.
Oh, the only way that we can get together with everybody is to first be together.
Yeah.
That's how we can then get together.
And that is not what has generally happened when African Americans have gotten together.
That's right.
There's some other groups of people that when they get together, that a lot of violence does happen. But when African Americans have classically gotten together, that is not generally the outcome.
That's right.
That other people try
to portray that's going to be the outcome.
But it is inclusive. I think the more that we understand in each other and work with each other, you'll know we better get everybody else over here quick. Like this is not just been put in our hands. This has been put let's join together.
Yes.
I love how Brother Steph always defines real Black excellence. Like that's the name of our company. But that also has a definition that just means Black and white people. Real Black excellence is Black and white people and all people working together in unity to build up a community.
It's actually already happening all over the planet.
Right.
In its little way. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
There just has to be a way. And there has to be people who can gather that up in narrative and explain what's actually this is what's happening.
Yes.
This is what's happening. And then people believe that and understand that. And then we have that.
Right. And be able to tell this is what's good. This is a good working together.
Yeah.
This is a negative. This is people taking advantage of the African American community. But over here, this is how we work together.
Right. And actually, actually you find when you find it in this, you find what's happening to everybody. Mm-hmm. The burden is not that, Black power. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The burden is it's happening to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. And when you see this, you can see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming, Brother Randy. We really, really enjoyed that conversation. I learned a lot just now, just tonight. For sure. And I was like, at one point, I was like, my eyes were filling up with tears. Like, that was just beautiful. Some of the thoughts that you brought out about our responsibility to the world, and just the topic of unity is just beautiful. Like, humanity coming together and working together. Hope we can see a lot more of it. And I believe in it. Like, I believe the prophecy says there will be a gathering of the people of God, and that everybody that wants to do right and be together, that
people want it everywhere. I believe that people want it everywhere. They just want to. Yes. They just want to know, how do we get it together?
Mm-hmm. Who to gather around, and what's the story?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're very proud to be a part of the people that are telling that story, to be sitting under ministers and leaders like Brother Randy, like his Brother Steph, like Brother Ray, and our fathers and others who are preaching and spreading this gospel. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. We'll see you next time. Y'all know what time it is. Peace, love, and hair grease.
You always laugh.
He always laughs at that part.
I like it. It's nice.